আমি শুরু করছি, হ্যাঁ। So তোরা already you all have already have some knowledge about Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, as well as the Excel based system. So now today I'll tell, basically it will be kind of a repetition at some point, and at some point we'll try to learn some advanced things. So first of all, when you open শোনা যাচ্ছে আমার কথা?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what I'm telling basically, so in Microsoft Word, so first thing what you need to learn that when you open a file, so how to save it or how to generate a new file. So let's say you have opened a file, now you want to save it. So for saving purpose, you want to follow my cursor where I'm putting my cursor. So if you see at the left top corner, there is an icon, save icon. So if you click it here also, uh, when I'm putting the cursor there, it shows like save or control plus S. It basically tells you if you click there, the file will be saved, or the file can be saved like a shortcut, which is basically control plus S. In your keyboard, there will be a control key. In addition to control key, you need to press the S button. So in that way, you can save the file. There are another procedure also. You can go to the file section, and then there is save as well as save as. So if you click on save, so it basically saves your file. But if you go on to save as, so what will happen, it will allow you to go a particular directory. So for example, here, if you see when I'm clicking on save as, there are four things it actually showing. First is OneDrive. So you can think like the file will be saved in some drive folder, and there is something called this PC. So whatever the PC I have, the storage I have, so there I can basically save it, or in a different place, maybe by adding some hardware or something. But let's forget about everything. Go to the browse button. So here is a browse. So if you click on browse, you can choose your directory where you want to save it. So let's say in the icons is desktop, downloads, documents. You can go to downloads. You can create a new folder out here, or you can write your or something called Word or something, whatever it is, go inside it, and you can make your file name. And most importantly, while making the file name, you should follow certain ways. Why? Because if you save a file now, it may possible that after some days you need to open it or you need to search it. But if you have not named the file properly, so you will find difficulty to find it. What you need to do then, in that case, you need to open all the files and you need to find out which you need. So you make it properly. So for example, here what I will show you, that if you want to write a report, so in that case, how will you write? So let's say I am writing the file name to be report, and make your own name. So I'm making my name here. So the way I am writing here. Now you see the file name is report underscore my name, and then dot something. So not necessarily, I will not put any kind of extension here. Now if I save it, so it gets saved as a document format. But sometime what happens, we need in PDF format as well, like we don't want in doc format. So in that case, how to convert the doc file into a PDF file? We are not going to use any kind of internet or any kind of website. By this computer only, we will convert this doc file into PDF file. So how we are going to do it? So if I have this file, I'll go to the file section, and then go to again the save as, and I'll go to my proper browser. So I'll browse my folder, proper folder. Here already it is showing the shortcuts, which is Word, where I have saved the file. So if I go to the Word, then it's called report underscore post, whatever it is. So the file name, let it be the same way, whatever I have written previously. Now you see there is a save as type. So if I click on this, so what happens? There are n number of options are there. In which file format I want to save it. So for example, the first option is the doc format. Then there is something called Word macro enables document. it's something beyond like it's not, it's an advanced thing, so no need to worry at the time at this point. So we'll be thinking about, let's say, the PDF format. So you see here there is a option PDF. The file name, whatever it is, it was there, converted into the PDF format, and I'll click on the save. So it gets saved on the PDF format. You see, whatever it was, it got converted into PDF. So anyway, there are multiple, there are another few things. So for example, let's say uh, some of your teacher asked you to write a report on some topic. Now you have written it or written a report, and this is the common tendency that what you used to do, that if my friend writes something, so I'll ask my friend that, okay, you give me, then we together can submit the same report. That is the normal tendency, because here whatever you are going to write, this is the PDF format or Word format, there the handwriting you cannot match or something. But there is a way also. What is the way? That you have written the file, whichever you have written, so it goes to your by your name. So where you can see that, so you go to the file section again, go to the save as, then again go to the Word option, whatever it is. Now, while saving the file, what you guys are actually doing, let's say you see here the author's name is given here. So that is on my name because this computer belongs to me. So when I am just by default, I'm just saving the file. So the authors by default takes the name of my computer. Now, if you want to change this, so what you need to do, just go there, delete the whole thing, and give some name, some XYZ name, and then save it. So that's the way to change the authors and etc. Okay. So by the way, am I audible to you as well as my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, fine. So these are the things that about how to save the file. Now, let's say I want to write something. So let's say again I'm giving the report. Let's say let us write our college name, APC Roy Government College. So I wrote it. So maybe your previous teachers has already told you how to write it as well as how to change the font. So if you see here, the font is very small. So how I can how I can increase it? Go this section here. So there is a font size out there. So you can choose whichever font you like. So basically, typically in a report format, always remember that when you are writing, the ideal font size is 12. But if you want to highlight something, you can make it 14 or 16 maybe. But 12 is the ideal font. Whatever book you are reading, so the size of that font is basically the 12. So let me put the heading to be 14. Once it is there, so what we want, the whatever the heading would be, we always want to be at the center. Let me zoom the screen. We want that is to be in the center. So how we can make it center? So again, there are different kind of these options are there. Now this is left alignment. We want to make it at the center. So this is a center alignment. Now after that, it may be possible that we want this size to this font to be make it bold. So once we want to make it bold, the usual way, what do we do? Just go there and make it, click on it. So it goes to bold. But I'll tell you the shortcut behind this. So this is very, because whatever what system we are using, this is very much simpler one. So what you can do, instead of going to there and selecting on B, selecting on I, or selecting on U, what we can simply do, Control plus B. If you do Control plus B, you see that if whatever the font was there, it goes to bold, because bold initializes B. So Control plus B. Now, if you want to make this whole thing to be italic, so select the whole thing. Once you select it, to make it italic, so the italic means starts with I. So it's basically Control plus I. You see, the whole thing goes italic. Now, if you want to make a underline below this, so how you can do this? Underline starts with U. So basically, Control plus U. Once you do it, you see a underline comes to this. So that's how these are the few shortcuts which you can always use. Now let's say we are starting a report. So what? Just arbitrarily, I'm writing something. Just forget about everything what I'm writing. So then let's say these 3 lines I have written. So once I have written these 3 lines, so it may be possible for you this spacing between 2 lines, it looks like maybe for you it's too far away, because you know that when you write on a page, or if to make it beautiful, what you want actually uh, I think I got disconnected, right? কত অবধি শোনা গেছিল রে?
স্যার ইটালিক পর্যন্ত।
Okay, so there I was telling that how to make it italic, and then also I was telling that to make a underline behind something, so it is basically underline. So select whatever you want to make it underline. So Control plus U, which is a U symbolized for underline. Now, after that, if you want to write something, just imagine whatever I am just written, arbitrarily I have written something on a keyboard. So there are 3 lines are now here. So these 3 lines are here. Now, as a way, when we write on a paper, so what do? We write something to make it more beautiful. It is also necessary that what is the spacing between 2 lines, because that's also is very much important for you. Now, in computer also, to make a file to be beautiful, so again, the spacing is also important. How to make that spacing? So you can make the spacing like this. Whatever the section you want to make that section to be proper spaced between 2 lines, you select that. So here 3 lines are there. I selected all the lines. Now here you see, if I go to here and click like this, so you see there are numbers are there, 1, 1.15, 1.52, like this. So these are in centimeter unit. So if you want a spacing between 2 lines is 1 centimeter, just click on 1. If you want to have a 2 centimeter, click on 2. Now you see the spacing is more. Now if you want the spacing to be something else, just 1.15, you can click it here. So like this, the spacing also can be controlled. So this and again in the standard books, whatever we used to read, so there the spacing is 1 centimeter. So this way you write on a report something as a heading, and there you write a brief lines. Now at the same time, it is also important about the margins, because how much margin you want to put at the top, at the bottom, at the left, at the right. So that also needs to be controlled. So how you should control that margins? So then to control that, you go to the top toolbars. So these icons are actually called the toolbars. So you go to the top toolbars. Now here you see there is something called layout. What means the layout? Layout means how it looks like. So click on the layout. Once you click on the layout, there are multiple options are available. And for us, what do we want? We want a proper margin. So we go to the margins, and there are some standard margins are already available. So let's say the way we are doing here the top margin is 7.8 centimeter, bottom is 2.54 centimeter, left is 2.54, as well as right is 2.54 centimeter. It actually in the proper unit. So if you write something and then take a printout, so what you will see in A4 sheet, the top portion of 7.8 centimeter is blank. After that, whatever you are writing, that is coming out. In some case, it is also possible that you need less spacing at the top. So what you will do then, we'll go to the normal. So in normal profile, so what it is given, the top margin is 2.54 centimeter, as well as bottom, as well as left and right, all are 2.54. Now, sometime it is also possible you need very narrow margins. So there you can select this one, the top, narrow, bottom, left, right, like this. But in some case, it is also quite possible that you are not happy with this all the available profiles. So what you can do, you can customize the things. So to customize the things, at the bottom of this whole section, there is an option called custom margins. You click on custom margins. Once you click it, you see now you can write whatever the spacing you want as a margin. Now top section, now it is 2.54. Let's say you want this to be 1.5. Write it 1.54. And at left you need something called, let's say, 0.54, right? And maybe here also 1.54 and something here also 0.54. So you write everything and click on OK. So your margin gets modified. So this is the way to make make a proper margin as well as a report. Now at the next point, it is also important to put a page number on this, because whenever you are writing something, it is also important, because if you write a 10-page or 20-page report, so it is necessary to give a page number to it. So how you are going to put a page number into it? So to put a page number, the way I'm telling, so it is basically what? Inserting a page number. So you need to go to the toolbar called insert. You go to the call insert toolbar, then there you need to put the page number. So where is the page number? You can search from this. As I know, so there it is written as a page number. You click on the page number. Now where you want to put the page number? It is possible that you can put the page number top of the page or bottom of the page, or even in the page margins, or in maybe in some custom positions. So if you put in the top of the page, let's say usually you write that bottom of the page. Now when you go to the bottom of the page, there are 4 different like again the format it is showing. The plain number 1, what it is showing, where the page number will come at the bottom left corner. If you go to the plain number 2 format, in this way the page number will come at the bottom center corner, center position. If you go to the plain number 3, the position of the page number will be at the bottom right corner. So this way you can put the page number. For us, let me put in the plain number 2, so which is at the bottom center. So you see at center automatically the page number 1 comes. Now while writing, you just write continuously. Your page number will automatically be taken care. So like first is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Like this way it will automatically goes on. Okay. So this is all about formatting everything. Now the next point comes, in many occasions.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, some people are unable to join the meeting.
Some people are unable to join. Are they requesting? Uh, I am not seeing any kind of request. Ask your friends to request again.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now what I'm telling, so whatever we are writing here, so it is in English language. Now sometime, let's say in some case, it may be possible in science as well as in your arts subject also. You need to write, let's say some symbols called alpha, beta, gamma, this kind of. Then how to write? Because in your keyboard, this alpha, beta, gamma is not available. So how we are going to write those things here? So the usual way to write, first I'm telling this simple way. So what you can do, let's say I'm writing A here. Now A is something like alpha, B something like beta, because alpha, beta, gamma is what? Is the Greek symbols. The way we have the alphabets in English, alpha, beta, gamma is the alphabets in Greek language. And we sometimes we follow this conventional way that we need to write this symbolical languages somewhere. Now we want to write alpha. Now A corresponds to alpha. So what I can do in a keyboard, I can write simply A. After that, let me select this whole thing. So the A, whatever I have written, I am just selecting that. Then you see here the place I am putting the font size. Just beside to that, I can select the font, which font I want to write. So for example, now whatever I'm writing, it is in Calibri font. Now In here, I can write as a symbolical form. So I can write symbol. So you see the symbol came. Once the symbol comes, you see now alpha A becomes alpha. Now in symbol font, if I write in my keyboard to be B, so what will be? It will be beta. You see it becomes beta. Now in my keyboard, if I write D, so it will be delta. Like this. This is the one of the way to write the symbolical thing. Apart from that, there are another way to write, because for example, probably some of you are thinking that okay, alpha beta delta I'm writing like this. What about if I want to write something like gamma or some kind of symbolical thing, then how to write it? It's kind of complicated sometimes, that it's very hard to remember that which alphabet language belongs to which Greek language, such that I can write that, and in symbol, if I select the symbol, it will be automatically like this. So in such case, what you can do, simply go to again insert, because I want to insert something. Then in the insert thing, you see at the toolbar of top right corner, there is something called symbol. You click on symbol. So once you click it, something is coming out here. If you want to more, if you want to know, if you want to take more symbols, click on more symbols. Click on this. Now you see there are n number of symbols are available. From this, whatever the symbol you want to use, just choose it. So for example, I want to choose this shy, click on shy and put or insert. Or if I want to take as a alpha, then insert. So whatever I basically want. For example, let's say I want this kind of symbol, click on this, insert. So this way you can use the all the symbols. So this is the one of the way. Apart from this, now I come back to, it's majorly maybe sometime it be useful for the science purpose, or at some extent for our students also, where we need to write some equations, and the equations are big equations, or maybe forget about the equations. Let's say I need to write something, and below that I need to write, let's say something I have to write. Let's say for example, we symbolized t to be as a time. Now I want to tell that time for some travel. I want to time travel, something like this. So I denote like this: time travel equals to let's say what I want to denote t. Then below that I want to write like travel. Now if I write like this simply, so what is happening? T travel. It does not look good. So in that case, if I make travel to be a little bit small, or make it below the t, which is basically prefix or suffix, in that case it looks beautiful. So how I can do this? Again, you select whatever you want to make it prefix or suffix. So let's say here the travel, I want to make it as a some kind of prefix or suffix. So in that case, go to home, and there sorry, not prefix suffix, it's a upper script or subscript. So let's say I want to make it as a subscript. So here, the way bold, italic, and underscore was there. So if you click on this below this X, then below something 2 is written. So if you click on this, you see the travel, whatever was it, then it goes to the subscript. If you want to make it superscript, then you click on this button. So it goes, you see the travel goes to the superscript format. So these are the way to write the superscript or subscript. This is a standard way, but there are shortcuts also. What are the shortcuts? Which I'll basically tell you when there'll be formal practical kind of classes will be have available on from Monday onwards, because this thing, whatever I'll be telling here, it will be hard to remember right now. But for the convenience, I'm just telling you. So to make a superscript or subscript, the way is control equal. There in your keyboard there will be equal symbol will be there. So if I make it control equal, you see this thing travel thing automatically goes to the subscript. If I make it to superscripts, what I do, instead of control plus equal, you have to put control plus shift plus equal. So all together, these three buttons you need to press. So control, shift, equal. So if I make it like this, you see the travel goes to a subscript. So this is the way to make it superscript or subscript. And now, if I come to the equation thing, a big equation, a mathematical equation, which we have came across many times. Let's say quadratic equation I want to write. something x cube plus 3x square plus x equals to 0. All we have learned at some point our school days. If I write that equation, how I am going to write it? Because writing an equation is also sometimes you make it beautiful. You cannot write just simply like superscript or subscript. I'm just writing. This is not a convenient one. So how I can write this kind of thing? And what I need to do? I need to write a equation. So basically, I need to insert a equation or write a equation. So I'll go to the insert button. Again, I'll go to the insert. Just top of the symbol options, there will be options called equation. I need to click on it. Once I click on it, you see they're asking me to write an equation. I can write here whatever I want to write. But what I told just now, what I need to do, I need to write a x cube. X cube plus 3x square equals to 0. If I need to write a x cube, so then again at the top corner you see there are many options are there. One is the fraction. If I need to write something in the format of fraction, I can select here. If I need to write in a script format, superscript or subscript, which will be the case here because x cube, x to the power 3 is in the superscript format. So here I need to use this. But apart from that, there are many options are also available. Let's say I need to write square root kind of thing. So I can take it from this. Or even if I need to write a integration, so integral kind of thing. So I can go like this, or even with summation, brackets, sine function, cos function like this, or even sometime some operators kind of format, or limit kind of formula, or matrix, whatever it is, I can select here any of them. But here what I'm telling, I need to write an equation, simple equation. So the script, I go to the script, then which format I want, x cube. So something, and top of that, something will be there. So I need to go to the first one. You see, there is a box. On top of the box, there is something. So I'll select this. Now, at the first box, it will be x. Then it will be x cube. So like this, x cube. After that, let's say 3x squared. So plus 3, it will become as it is in the keyboard. I'll write then x square. X square again, I have to select the scripts. Go to the scripts, then select this. Again, the way I was talking, select x, go there, x square. Let's say this is equals to 0. So like this, I can write a one equation. So this is the simplest one. Now it is also quite possible that I want to write a vector. Let's say we know, okay, forget about the vector because there are many students from literature background. So forget about the vector thing here. So just imagine for some case, what I need to need that I need to have superscript and subscript at the same time. Let's say the way I have written previously, travel. Maybe travel at the top and something called Siliguri at the bottom because it symbolizes say travel time to Siliguri. So in such case, how one can do the way you have understood? Maybe you will write T, sorry, so maybe write calibrate. So you will write T, then you will select travel, then you will make it superscript, sorry, subscript, superscript, then you will write Siliguri, you will select it, then you will make it subscript. So you see, if you write this way, so it's T travel Siliguri, it does not look. Instead of the writing like this, if it is possible to write the Siliguri just below the travel, it will be looks good. So how we can write this? You see, you will see the difference between two writings. Instead of that, what I can do, I can write like equations. Go to insert, and then insert equation, and what I want, some script kind of thing, superscript and subscript. So I'll go to the script section. Now you see here, there are many options. The first option just now we used where I need to put like x cube kind of thing. And if I go to the second one, which is a subscript format, and what I want, superscript and subscript will be just below each other. So I'll select third one. If you see the symbolically also, select this one. And then in the big box, you write T. And then the below box, you will write Siliguri. At the top, second, you will write travel. Now you see the difference between two lines. The first one is T travel Siliguri, and the second one is like this. You obviously you can understand which one is better, which one is looks beautiful. So that's why it is very much important to know how to use the equation kind of thing. Not only in mathematics, obviously in science background it is the necessary one. You need to use like this, but for other purpose also it is quite useful to write in such a way. Okay, so these are the things. Then I'll go one by one. So what I have told right now, the home section, whatever it is, you are already familiar. Mostly you are familiar with this. So I'm not going to details of this home section. Now the next button is insert button. So in this insert button, you can clearly see there is an option like a page break. So what this option means? Probably when you are reading a book, you have seen if a chapter finishes at a particular point. So what happens after that? A new chapter starts in a new page. Similarly, while you are writing a thing, so it's quite possible something ends. Now the new section you preferably want that it should start in the next page. Now the way you have learned here, it is like I want to give a break, give a gap. It's basically make press and enter or press the space button and go to the other lines like this you have learned. So for example here, whatever I have just written, so let's say this page is over. Now if I want to write in another page, the way you have to know is give a enter like this, and then a new page starts, and from here you write something like this you have done. But it is possible, and it will happen actually to you, that after writing the whole thing, you remember that in the first chapter I forgot to write a one sentence, and I should have written one sentence. Then what you will do? You will start writing one sentence in the first page. So in such case, I'll write like, okay, my name is. I forgot to write like this. My name is XYZ. So while writing this, my name is XYZ, what happens in the first page? You have written one extra sentence. So then in the next page where you have started writing your next chapter, you see automatically one line shifted. That you do not want, because if it is happening like this, then your work will be very much difficult work, because then you need to again adjust it, you need to delete it such that the next chapter starts from the first page, from the beginning like this. So how to overcome such situations? The way to overcome the situation is like, once your, let's say, this first page, whatever you have written, this is over, and you want to go to the next chapter, you click on page break. So if you click on page break, so what it tells, the page you are writing, it's over. Now give a break, go to the next page. So let's say I'm clicking here, page break. So you see, automatically a new page generates for me. Now I'm writing something here, blah, blah, blah. Now by putting this page break, what happens, the way I was telling last time, now you remember that again I need to write something in the previous chapter. So let's say write something in the previous chapter. So something I'm writing, you see nothing is happening to the next chapter. So that's the advantage of using the page break. That if you put a page break in a page, so it tells you that is over. Now the next thing, whatever you will write, that will happen to the next page. Okay, so this is the use of page break. After that, there is something called table. Now table also, probably you all have came across how to put a table. So it's basically I need to put, let's say, a table of 2 rows, 2 columns. So I'm just inserting a table of 2 rows, 2 columns. While writing, now you realize, let's say sometime what happens, that whatever the first row is there, so I do not want these 2 column in the first row. What I want only a single line. So basically this whole thing, the whole first thing should not be divided into 2 parts. Second row, I want this is divided into 2 parts. The first one, I don't want this to be divided into 2 parts. So how I can control this? So what I can do, whichever one I want, that the splitting should not be there. to remove the splitting, what you need to do, I need to merge it. How I can merge it? I need to select whichever I want to merge. Then I'll click a right click there. Once I put the right click, now there is an option called merge cell. Once I click on it, now you see the first row has only one column, but the second row has two columns. It is sometimes quite possible that you need to make it like this. Now, it is also at the same time, it is possible that you have, for example, here only, there are two columns are available, but you want three columns. Now, how to put a extra column out here without deleting this table? How we can do? You can again, in any of the cells of this table, click on it, then right click. If when I put a right click, you see there is an option insert here. If I click on insert, so there is option is showing to me. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I was telling that how to insert something. Uh, okay. So if I want to insert something here, so what I can do, I can click on any of the cells. Now I will right click out here, then I'll go to the insert button here. Then there are options like I can insert above to this row or column, or if I can insert below of this shell, or even insert left or insert right. Let's say I want here to be three columns. Here it was the two columns, I want three columns. If I want a three columns, so what is preferable, that I need something at the right, or even in the left also you can make it. So let's go with the right. So once I click on it right, so you see there is another column is getting generated. So this way you can basically manipulate. Now if I want something row to be more, so in that case again I'll click on any of the cells and right click on it, then I'll go to insert, then maybe insert below. If I go, you see there is another row is getting generated. So this way you can make more rows, more tables on a existing table. Now there are another feature also. What are those features? You can basically click on it, or maybe go to insert, and then there is an option called table. So instead of selecting this column and table, what you can simply do, there is an option called draw table. So this is very much useful tool. So if you select on draw tables, what happens you see. So the draw means with the pen you are drawing something. So select on the draw table. Now what I want a column out here. You see the cursor now changed into a pen kind of thing. So you click on wherever you want to draw, click on like this, and I'm just drawing like this. So automatically when I'm drawing in a straight line kind of thing, although I'm not drawing a straight line because I cannot control my mouse to be in a straight way, it is always will go in that like kind of circular or non-straight way. So if I try to draw like a straight, so my computer will understand that he or she wants to draw a straight line. So the way I draw here, so automatically a straight line is created. So a kind of this kind of column is getting generated. Similarly, let's say here I want to have another column. So again, I'll click on this and I'll draw like this. So once I draw, so sorry, I'll click on this and draw like this. So you see, there is a kind of another column generates. Now it is also quite possible I need kind of a box somewhere, so I can draw it. So draw like this. You see, a box is getting generated. So it is also possible to draw the table. So this is some useful feature which is always you can do. Okay, so these are the few things which I am telling you today. Apart from that, there are many more features which I'm not going to details in today's lecture because it is quite impossible to remember everything. The only way to remember this, the practice. Practice is the only thing which will make you realize that how to do it, which we'll do in the next week. But one thing I must tell today that is very much useful thing. So for example, let me give you the example like this. You, let's say 100 of students has registered for this certificate course. Now after the course ends, all you want is the certificate. Now previously what used to happen that the certificate is getting printed, and manually people will write the name, then which department, which semester, every information will be written, and after that the whole that certificate will be distributed. But the process is very much active one because people needs to write it by manually. So how, like for your case also, like for your case, we need to give you the certificate. How will you give the certificate? Because they are definitely we are not going to write your certificate individually for individual students, because if we do like this, then it will be a very much lengthier process, and it's not also wise one to do this, because the reason we are using computer to minimize our effort. It should not be like we are using the computer to increase our effort. So to minimize the efforts, what we will do, probably you all remember that while registering, you had filled a Google form. And while filling the Google form, you have put your data, like your name, department, semester, everything you have written. Now, when you filled it, a Excel sheet gets generated. Probably the last classes by other faculty members, they have told you how the Excel sheets get generated. Once the Excel sheet gets generated, so what you have, by column wise, there will be name, department, like this for individual students. Now what we'll do after that, that in a Word file, now in a Word file, we'll write your certificate, a general certificate for some person. Like this, I'll write the student, and let's say the student name and has participated in the program. Like this, I'm just writing. Now let's imagine this is the certificate for everybody. Now what will be the difference for individual certificates? The student, whatever the student I'm writing here, so it will be the name of the student. So for, let's say, for some case the student name is some Mr. X, for some case the student name is Mr. Y, like this. It will be different for individual person, it will be individually different. Now how we are going to do this? So then what we will do, we'll use something called here mailing. There is an option called mailing, and in the option of mailing there is an option called select mail merge. We'll select on this. Once I select on mail merge, so there here it will ask for some directory. So this directory, if I click, so here it is not actually linked, so that's why I'm unable to show you, but I'm just telling you, once I click on this mail merge option, and then I'll give that Excel file to this, so it will automatically fetch your data, and in such a way that if in the Excel sheet there are 100 students has registered, for all the 100 certificates will generated in a single click. It will take probably some 30 seconds to 20 seconds time to generate, and then it will be distributed among you. So this is the standard procedure to use the mail merge. I'm just giving you the brief idea of using the mail merge. The details thing will do in a practical way. Then there will be also some options are available. What are those options? So let's say there are options in the review section. So It is also quite possible you have written something, you have written a report, and that report you have sent to your teacher, and that your teacher has to correct it. So the way to correct it, if you send your teacher, so how he will correct it? If you have written something wrong here, so he will basically delete something or he will add something. Now, if he is writing like this, it is very much difficult to track where he has done what modification he has actually made. It is very difficult to follow for you. So then, so what is the usual way to track what has been done apart from you? So the way to do this, first you go to the review, because it's a reviewing something. So go to the review, and there is an option called track changes. If you click on the track changes, whatever the changes are getting made, so it will be tracked. So you click on this track changes, and for the time being there is an option called all mark. So let's imagine I'm just writing as a no markup. For some reason I'm doing this no markup. Now what I'm doing, as a teacher, I'm correcting the things. Let's say you have given me this file, it is wrong. I'm writing this is there to be my the something, something will be there like this. I have corrected, and here also this is wrong. I'm just deleting like this. So like this, I have corrected this file. I have sent it to you. Then you want to see what are the correction has been made. So what I'll do, again click on the track changes. It is already there. Now instead of having no markup, I'll select the show all markup. Look, all markup I have selected. Once you click this all markup, you can easily see what are the modifications I have made. Whatever I have deleted, that has been strike through. Whatever I have been added, just I have written here. And what it is also showing, once I put my cursor on top of the writing things, it is exactly showing that who has written this, at what time it has been written. So it is written Kaustuv Roy at that time inserted this line. And this thing I have I have deleted, so it is showing this has deleted at that time. At the same way, this equation also get deleted. So when it has been deleted, you can clearly see it from this. So this is the way to know how to write the all the things. Now, once you have it, so let's say you are happy with your teacher, whatever has been corrected for you, you want to accept the whole thing. How you are going to accept this? That you have this file, the correction has been okay for you, and you want to take all corrections. So in that case, there's an option called accept. I'll go there and I'll select accept all changes and stop tracking. I'll click on this. You see, I have accepted everything, whatever correction has been given to me. So this is the way to write in a report or something. Okay. Now, probably these things are something which is not important for you. This is also not important. And even if you want to make a watermark or something, so what you can do, you go to design, because design is something making design. So there you can put a watermark. You select on watermark. So what will happen? Just below the sheet, there will be something written on this. Like I can click as a watermark, and then I can make a custom watermark. I will select on custom watermark. Then the watermark can be different things. For example, it can be a picture watermark. You can select a picture. That picture can be below your report. That is also quite possible. You can select the picture from this. Also, you can do a text watermark. So where you can write a text. So for example, here text watermark, it is showing that language is in which language, and text is here is ASAP is written, or maybe something else you want to write. Let's say I want to write something called my name. Okay, then font is Calibri format, and size is auto I'm putting, or instead of auto I can put, let's say 36 size. If I want to make it color, let's say make it something called blue color, and the layout is diagonally or horizontally. I want to put that, let's say diagonally I want to put, I'm applying it. You see, all the reports, my name is as a watermark. So this way you can always play around in the design things. So these are the few useful things which are the which I feel important for you at this point. And rest of the things it is standardized to discuss in the computer lab, which we will be doing from next week. Okay, so these are all which I want to tell today, and the next thing we'll be discussing in the next class. So if you have any kind of confusions or doubts, you can ask. কারো কিছু বলার থাকলে বলতে পারিস। Okay, if there is no more confusions, then thank you for attending today's lecture. So again, we'll meet tomorrow. So tomorrow, Biplab sir will take one class, and I'll take your one more class on Sunday, where I'll tell you to how to make a poster out of a PowerPoint. So poster means basically, let's say in our college now many programs are getting like organized, and in that program, we all share that some flyer kind of thing, and while making the flyer kind of thing, what we basically do, we go to certain websites, and in that website we used to put your image and everything and make the flyer. But that is not the conventional way, because if you do like this, the customization of the flyer is restricted at some point. If you want the whole customization by your own, then Microsoft is PowerPoint is the only option. So I'll tell you that how to make that thing, as well as how to make a picture in Microsoft Word. So if you want to make a 3D picture or 2D picture, that will be discussed in next class, and probably um, in the practical session we'll learn more. Okay, so thank you for attending the lecture.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Then,
Thank you, sir.
okay, good night to all.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night.
Good night, sir.